Africa Vaccination Week. We'll see how Cross River State used the opportunity to reach out to Cameroonian immigrants.
Well, factory robots in the United States replaced manual labor in Africa. We'll look at what governments can do to avoid negative effects on developing countries.
Love and forgiveness brings two Rwandan families together decades after genocide claimed more than 800,000 people. Africa 54 starts right now.
Hello and thanks for tuning in to Africa 54. I'm Chamberlain Osor at Channels Television here in Lagos. I'm joined by Vincent McCurry at Voice of America in Washington.
Well, thanks a lot, Chamberlain. I'm Vincent McCurry at our global headquarters in Washington, D.C. Happy to be with you again for another edition of Africa 54. Now, African Vaccination Week brings an opportunity to help Cameroonian immigrants in Nigeria. Chamberlain also in Lagos brings you that story.
This year's edition of African Vaccination Week was held across African countries, and it was with the aim of reaching various populations, especially mothers and children. As Nigeria joined other African nations in a week-long exercise, Cross River State used the opportunity to reach the large number of Cameroonian immigrants within its borders. Channels Television's correspondent Imani Ode was there and filed this report.
In Ikom local government area of Cross River State is the camp that is home to thousands of refugees from Cameroon who fled violence in the neighboring country. Numbering as many as 30,000, according to state authorities, the southern Cameroonians make up a large fraction of the state's vulnerable population, and as such are the first set of people to benefit from the African Vaccination Week. Vaccines are administered to children of 5 years and below in the continental exercise tagged Vaccines Work, Do Your Part. State health authorities plan to ensure all children within the age bracket are immunized in order to avoid the spread of preventable diseases in the camp and beyond.
We are focusing at this time especially on the children who are from 0 to 59 months old, that is under 5 years of age, for this immunization. Please make sure that you do, of all the women who are here, the men who are here, make sure that no child is left unimmunized.
The initiative, which began in 2011 by the World Health Organization, aims to strengthen national immunization programs across the continent through advocacy and partnership.
In our hospitals, in Teaching Hospital Calabar, several health centers across the state, we've had cases of over 400 children coming down with things like measles, coming down with whooping cough, which never used to be the case. And so we're calling on all parents, whether you're rich or you're poor, you need to take your children to the nearest health facilities and get them immunized.
The event is also an opportunity to cater for the Cameroonian immigrants who've since found a home in the state, with the state government promising to improve their living conditions.
I have this morning inspected the facility at which the refugees are staying, and I have directed the Holga of Ikom that there should be immediately commence activity to clean up the political bloc so that the refugees can move to a much cleaner and safer environment.
Thankful for the gesture, the beneficiaries are looking forward to a situation where aid will also come in other forms such as education and vocational skills.
The challenges our face is stop going to school, and now since there's no money to go to school, I've stopped going to school.
Money to take care of ourselves, our children, our little children, and our wives. And it is not an easy for us to have money to even to board what can be rubbing bedding soap and rubbing oil.
The African Vaccination Week, in its 8th edition, is proving to be an effective way of tackling vaccine-preventable diseases in the African region. Countries at state and national levels are conducting regular, large and small-scale vaccination campaigns, particularly for populations with limited access to regular health services.
While healthcare and welfare packages help alleviate the plight of southern Cameroonian refugees in Nigeria, pending when they are able to return home, the crisis that forced them out still remains. Despite calls for dialogue, the government continues to reject the English-speaking minority grievances, while armed militants appear inclined to continue fighting. The Catholic Church represents nearly a third of Cameroon's population and on several occasions has urged President Paul Biya to resolve the crisis. Analysts believe the clergy can play a significant role in breaking the stalemate. Tanda Theophilus, a research fellow at the International Crisis Group, an organization that is monitoring the situation. He joins us from Nairobi, Kenya. Welcome to Africa 54.
Thank you.
Let's start off with asking about Africa. I mean, they have several continental and subcontinental political institutions established to protect democratic processes. Why then do you think there is this huge expectation that the Catholic Church can be influential in the scheme of things?
Yeah, thank you. The Catholic Church actually was chosen for two reasons. The first one is its commitment. The Catholic Church is one of the institutions that has been following the crisis since the beginning. The second and most important is that of acceptance or acceptability. Essentially, to say pretty, want dialogue. But they have a condition, and the condition is that it must be mediated by an external actor, and that is unacceptable to the government. So, we were thinking, since the most important, the ultimate goal is to bring them to a dialogue table, who can be that actor that will be more accepted by both parties? So we thought of the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church is very influential in Cameroon. About 30% of Cameroonians are Catholic. At the same time, the government has very good relations with the Vatican. Cameroon is one of the states that has had the highest number of visits in Africa by church. So we thought the Catholic Church was more acceptable by the two parties.
Like a number of institutions, the Catholic Church is made up of several people who've got ethnic divides which run deep. How do you suggest it can approach these issues differently?
Yes, we are aware that the Catholic Church is an institution that has divided, like every other institution in the world. It's made up of individuals that have sentiments. That is why recently we released a report just this week proposing that the Catholic Church should mediate because there is hope. Hope in the sense that despite the divisions within the Catholic Church, there are points of convergence. I take a simple example. The Catholic Church, following the October 1 protest in the Anglophone region, all the bishops that commented on the issue agreed that the government had exaggerated. In that way, there is hope the Catholic Church can be up to the task.
Considering the heart of the conflict and calls for negotiation, which of the three options, one, federalism, decentralization, or outright independence for the southern Cameroonians, has the potential for peaceful resolution of the crisis?
The ultimate goal for us is dialogue. Dialogue. And you can't be going to the dialogue table with resolutions made already. What the International Crisis Group is proposing is that the debate should be open. Debate on federalism shouldn't be the taboo. The government should make it open. Okay? However, Crisis Group since the beginning of the crisis has maintained a position which is that the crisis can easily be resolved if decentralization, as stipulated in the 1996 constitutional law, is applied to the fullest. That would be a good starting point. That does not, however, mean that it is the only option. The debate should be open. Federalism, decentralization, regionalism, or any other form of the state or any other structure of the state.
Now, what would you consider your ideal picture of Cameroon, especially when you consider some of the cases of struggles for independence on the continent and how they eventually turned out?
Yes, my ideal picture of Cameroon is and a peaceful Cameroon. That is the reason why Crisis Group exists. It's a conflict prevention organization. Our ultimate goal is that they come to a dialogue table, they try to sort things out, and we should have a peaceful Cameroon.
All right, Tanda Theophilus of the International Crisis Group, thank you for joining us today on Africa 54.
You're welcome.
Well, we want to know what you think about Africa 54 and the stories we cover. Join the conversation on Facebook. The address is Africa 54. And check out our headlines 24/7 on voaafrica.com. Now, coming up, teaching the children affected by insurgency in northeast Nigeria. We'll see how educators are learning to meet the unique needs of their students.